Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, January 5, 2025, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. When I grip the wheel too tight, I find I lose control. We address our main discovery a lot because it needs to be discussed a lot. The main discovery and what holds us at bay, what keeps us from discovering who and what we are, discovering our omnipotent power within these bodies, many things. Generation after generation, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And that is the illusion. It's an actual illusion of the mind and then the ego that supports the mind. Now, it's interesting that we create these illusions as the gods that we are so that we can learn to master them. So instead of us being their servants, they become our servants. And then once they've discovered that there is peace, that they have found peace, then they are no more. You imagine when you get to that, we all will eventually, but when you get to that comprehension and you say to yourself that you can direct your power, and remember it's through heart-mindedness, this is our discovery, that we move out of ego-mind and eventually totally, and that we can direct our power while we're in these bodies with pinpoint accuracy. We can create anything, we can manifest anything that we desire knowingly. Right now, it's kind of like haphazardly. In every direction, we're manifesting and creating things. Majority of the time, we don't know this, so we just do it. It's automatic. The full circle of the discovery of who and what we are is mastering the mind, the ego. There's nothing else. When we look at what its capabilities are, what it's able to do, is to keep us in a track, so to speak, and to keep us in the sense of suffering, worrying, stressing, and fearing. Reason that is because the ego mind, as we know, is in the now, not the now, but the yesterday and tomorrow. It doesn't exist in the now, so this is the only place that we can be to watch and master it. See how it operates, what it does. We're not judging it, we're just finding out how it operates. So that when we do have certain thoughts, responses, that come in, we can identify them. We know that that's ego mind. That's ego mind induced. It's not my heart. It's not heart mind. This also tells us that we're in ego mind when that happens, because in heart mind it doesn't happen. We don't have that friction with ourselves. We don't have that irritation, the worry, the stress, the fear, the anxiety. None of that exists because it all emanates from the ego mind. Ego mind is insecure. Most people experience insecurities. Ego mind is frightened of not having enough, insecurity, and wanting all the time. The ego mind is satisfied at times and is happy at times, but it's very short-lived. This is why you can look at the civilization and you can see it every day. You can see how it operates. You can see what it does. This also helps us by watching others. I mean, remember, we're all teachers and students with each other, so we're always, whether we know it or not, whatever we do, we come into someone's life for 20 seconds, there's something that we are teaching them. Now, if they're receptive enough, they're going to go, wow, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. They won't probably come up and say that to you, but you'll have we have this ability to interface with many, many, many of us in brief stays, long term, depending. And we're always teaching and learning. So when and see, these bodies on top of it are highly emotional. See, we inherit quite a bit when we enter these bodies. Highly emotional, super sensitive. Whether, on the surface you act like you're not sensitive, but you are. Some people hide it and tie it up inside, and others just let it go. Now, for the civilization to embrace exactly who and what it is, this is a simple path from the perspective of saying, I practice being in the heart-mind. I practice being in the heart-mind so much that eventually all I'll be is in the heart-mind. Now, we know that we slip into ego-mind at times and that we have the emotionality at times, but it becomes less and less as the more we practice heart-mindedness. One might say, well, isn't that running away? Not at all. We're not ignoring the ego-mind and what the ego-mind is doing. We just aren't participating in it. See, we stop participating in the ego-mind's antics and where it directs us. Now, the majority of the population, I think, have a small understanding that, or comprehension that there is something that directs them. When we get irritated or frustrated or impatient, it's apparent, right? And the rest of us teach the rest of us by being in that ego-mind mode, which then tells us not something that I would care to be in for a long period of time. It's just not something that I would care to entertain. So my alternative is to practice heart-mindedness, which means practicing in meditation, being in the now. Now, a lot of people think that the now is boring and it's, how can you just sit there and you're in the now? And so much more fun this other way. Well, we've all had this many times. We've all lived in ego mind for thousands and thousands and millions and billions and billions of years. And, you come to a point where you say, been there, done that. Really deeply grateful for what I've experienced and what I've learned. But there's a whole new avenue that we haven't touched yet. Really much at all, if at all. And that's heart-mindedness. Being in it, practicing it because we want to, not because we have to, or we feel guilty, I better do that. It's more you want to. Because it's connected to so many things. Heart-mindedness is connected to the gateway or the door open to the soul with the God within it. You can't get any deeper than that. Ego mind's the opposite, locks all the doors. So you practice being in the now and just being, just not doing anything. And see, our society, they look at that as saying, well, they're lazy or nuts or cuckoo, or look at them, they're just sitting there, they don't do anything. And we've been programmed, you got to be doing something in order to be valuable, right? You have to be doing something in this society in order to be valuable. You're not valuable if you aren't doing something. And so that we believe that about ourselves, and that programming is deep-seated. So if we're not doing anything, we kind of get guilty. After a while, might not be at first, but we start feeling guilty. I got to do something. I can't just keep sitting around. You ever said that to yourself? I got to do something. What are you going to do today? Oh, I'm just going to sit meditation. Oh, I say. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what others think anyway. As we know, meditation has been going on for tens of thousands of years. Has it helped the whole? No. Has it helped the one? Yes. Who's the one? You. Each of us choose what we're going to do, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously. We choose what we're going to do. We choose to say, okay, I'm going to do heart-mindedness. I'm not concerned about what other people think. What I look at is the fact that we're actually doing it. We're actually doing it. And, we've been doing it for just shy of 7 years, and it won't be long before we're moving into the 8th year, every day, 7 days a week of doing meditations. With no interruptions. There's a reason for that. Because it has to keep going out and saturating and going out and saturating every day, every day, every day, every day. And there's people just now discovering these meditations. Discovering them every day for the first time. There's thousands out there. So we do it because we practice learning how to stay into the heart-mind. And along the way, we discover a lot of things about ourselves. We discover things that we hide about ourselves from ourselves. We discover pain that we carry with us that's not necessary. In fact, it shouldn't be carried with us. We should have let it go a long time ago. We have grudges and, and all kinds of things we carry with us. If someone did us wrong or whatever, we should let that all go. And that's up to us. It's up to nobody else. It's up to you. You want to carry it for the next umpteen lifetimes, that's your business. But when you realize that, why carry things that aren't the greatest good for you? Why would you drag that ball and chain lifetime after lifetime? You wouldn't. You'd sit there and go, take this off. I don't need any of this stuff. What the heck do I need all this stuff for? I don't. Does it do me any good? No. It irritates me. It stresses me at times. It surfaces and causes me to make decisions that I don't care to make. So therefore, I'm letting it go. I don't care to have it anymore. It's like throwing it into a big, huge ocean and letting it sink to the bottom. This is all about cleansing and refitting ourselves in the direction of heart-mindedness and spirituality and remembering fully who and what we are. Because you get to the point of fully embracing heart-mindedness through meditation, you will experience a freedom that you have never, ever, ever, ever come across before. A complete freedom. A sense of lightheartedness. You will start looking at things from a whole different perspective. You will love everything around you because it's part of you. Yeah, it's like when you determine that you're going to face certain things within you. You've determined this, that you know you're going to come across it sooner or later. Practicing heart-mindedness, you know that it's going to appear there. And so instead of suppressing or ignoring or sidestepping, you say, no, come here and sit with me. Let's talk about this and see what it is you really need. It's absolutely phenomenal how that works. When you actually sit down with what we call worries, problems, stresses, fears, anxieties, whatever it may be, we actually sit with it and talk with it and see what is it that you really need. And you'll discover that it'll just vanish. It'll disappear. And the interesting thing about our mind sit. Kind of strange, but it only exists in yesterday and tomorrow. It doesn't exist in the now at all, not even a smidgen. So most of us are carried into yesterday or tomorrow. And when we look at that and say, you know, that's pretty spot on. We can wake up in the morning, and it doesn't take long before we're already in not that moment, but tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, next day. Many of us are never in the now. We are always in yesterday and tomorrow. Not a bad thing. It's just that many of us haven't discovered that. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to be in yesterday and tomorrow? Well, we're curious, right? So that would kind of move us into the future, wanting to know what our futures are. Would you really want to know it? Or would you prefer to create it and know it? See what I mean? That you would know that your future it will be absolutely spectacular. You have no concerns, and yet you have no motivation to see your future. You don't. You already know that you have created your future. So now you're not floating off into a future, wanting to know about your future. It's the same with yesterday. You ever have stuff come in where you go, one thought connects to another, okay, and it just kind of builds. It'll take you to past events, past interactions. And before you know it, you go, wow, what the heck am I doing way back here? It's all dead and gone. Absolutely dead and gone. It's not coming back. You say that to yourself, and then you go, I'm not interested in the future, so I'm in the now. I'm going to stay in the now, moment to moment. It's where I focus. You ever been doing something? We've all done this. I know we have. And none of us are exempt from it. Okay, so you're doing something. You have a test. Maybe you're cutting something, right? And you're watching things, but for a split second you aren't, and you cut your finger. You ever done that? You say, how the heck did I do that? I thought I was focused on what I was doing. And that kind of tells us that, well, I wasn't in that moment. I wasn't in that moment. Now, if we were really focused, we wouldn't have cut the finger. Little things like that give us a heads up, so to speak, where we go, okay, that's okay, I've been in ego mind for eons, and now I'm coming out of it because I've made a decision that I want to come out of it. So these little things are fine because it just reminds me that I'm not quite focused yet. I'm the now. And this is where during the course of the day we practice being in deep gratitude. Gratitude is paramount to keep us in the now. Deeply grateful for the very moment I'm in. And it keeps you from wanting to complain or wanting, or being impatient. So what happens is that you go, I'm deeply grateful for the very moment I'm in, because I don't know if I'm going to have this moment again. Which means, am I going to wake up tomorrow? I have no idea, nor am I concerned about it, because all I care about is the moment. The only thing that any of us will ever have is the moment. We will not have anything else. We only have the moment. It's always the way it's been. And yet, the majority of us do not practice it. We don't practice. If you really want to be, say you're a singer and you don't practice at all, and you have a big concert and you go out there and you're really rusty, and you say to yourself, I should have practiced. That's the same way with anything. You practice being in the now as often as you can. It doesn't mean you always have to be in meditation, because then you get to a point where you can be in the now in the very moment just walking. You could be in the now in the very moment just sitting. You could be in the now having a conversation with someone. Doesn't it make sense that it's all written out for us? We know that if we're in the now, we don't suffer. We know if we're not in the now, we're in ego mind and we suffer. It's not complicated. And for those who don't think that, well, prove it. Well, just keep living. You'll experience it if you pay enough attention to how you're living. What are you living for? You're living for the ego mind. Not heart-mindedness, not the God, but ego mind. It's what you're living for. Because the ego mind tells you when, how, all of it. And it's comprehending and understanding the ego mind, how it operates. Once you do that, then you begin to master it. And once you realize that all this noise, all this mind chatter, all this energy swirling around you is not yours. Thoughts aren't yours. You send a thought out, it's yours. You know exactly what you're sending out to this universe. You're very careful about it, very concise, very detailed, and very loving, and you send it to the universe. And then you automatically know that you're going to, it's already manifesting. And you walk on. And then the day comes and you go, wow, here it is. It shouldn't be a surprise for us. It should be like understood, comprehended. This is who and what I am. This is what I can do. And that's what you do. And the reason I emphasize heart-mindedness, because if it was ego-mindedness, it'd be chaos. People being able to manifest anything they wanted in the ego mind would be absolutely a disaster. But in heart-mindedness is where it belongs. And in heart-mindedness, it's not a disaster at all, because we are in deep eternal love for ourselves and everything else. So we're not in the mode of chasing and pursuing and climbing and grappling and pulling and holding tight. We're in the direction of everything I desire is mine already. And you feel that in the heart, see? We can say so many things. We can. We all do it. We reinforce this and reinforce ourselves. But it doesn't come from the heart mind. You can tell, too. Oftentimes we get irritated or something and we say things, but it's really forceful. It's coming forcefully out. And it's very powerful, because that's why it usually manifests exactly the things we don't want to have manifest. So we have this. Isn't it phenomenal that we have these choices that we can make? And as we choose to learn more and discover more about heart-mindedness and ego mind, we progress. We continually move forward. We're not sedentary from the standpoint of immobile. So we decide to walk forward, and we continue to learn and experience. And eventually, you'll discover total freedom within yourself and everything. You'll discover just how omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting abundant being that never dies. That's what we are. Yeah, through ego mind, we argue it lifetime after lifetime because we just don't accept it, because we've been taught differently. But yet we discover it, and we start discovering it more and more and go deeper and deeper, and we start saying, everything I've been taught is the opposite of what is true. And I'm discovering that for myself. Not upset with it. Because you know, what are you going to do? You're going to blame your parents, your grandparents, great-grandparents, because they were given similar information. We have a full plate, so to speak, each of us, when we come into this life. Doesn't mean that we're going to get there in this life, because it all depends on, is there anything that's going to wake us up so that we become more aware? And that childlike curiosity is all cleaned off and all the layers are pulled off of it, and it's bright and shiny again, front and center. And so we start saying, yeah, ask questions until you're satisfied. Always be curious. Always be in wonderment. If you have a fear that shows up, sit down with the fear and say, okay, what is it that you need, fear? And you find that it'll just melt away. And then we expand and grow, and we learn more about who and what we are. And then we start getting proof. See, it starts showing itself. You might say, okay, so I'm going to manifest something small to begin with, and just leave it at that. I have no expectations, no attachments to the outcome, so I'm going to send it to the universe and leave it alone. And lo and behold, there it is. Once you see, a lot of people will experience things where they were just thinking about something, and they go, holy cow, I was just saying, there it is. Instead of just blowing it off, it's be in deep gratitude that that happened, and really comprehend why it happened, how it happened. And then build on it. In unified, deep, eternal love for ourselves and each other, what has been occurring on this planet would have been wiped away in an instant. It never would have had legs to grow. And that programming, yeah, that's, for a lot of people, that's a toughie. It isn't insurmountable, but it's a toughie because it's been ingrained in us. It's part of our belief mechanism. See, it's part of almost what we manifest. You know, the doom, the gloom, you know, the disappointment, the irritation, the frustration. Even when you're enjoying yourself and everything seems to just fall into place. Could be anything. And you're enjoying it, embracing it, wonderful. And then this little voice comes in and says, yeah, but it's not going to last forever. And to me, that's ego mind crap. It'll last as long as you choose it to last. That's the real power. It'll last as long as you choose it to last. So you're enjoying yourself and you're relaxed and everything's wonderful. And you say to yourself, this is because of me. It's because of what I'm intending and focused on. That's why this is happening. It's not like something came out of a back door and you know, had a fairy wand and went psh, 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 and gave it to you. You gave it to you. Every single time, whatever you experience, you give it to you. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, it doesn't mean that it registers, right? And this is where we get a little confused and we start thinking that it's something outside of us, right? But it's always you. It's always you. It's always about you. You are always creating. You will never stop creating. You are always manifesting. You will never stop manifesting. So doesn't it make sense that we become aware of it? Wow, that's huge. When we become aware of it, then we're best apt to direct it appropriately for ourselves. The ego mind no longer directs us. We direct it. And in heart-mindedness, we just say, you know, this is, I want to experience this. I want to enjoy this. And lo and behold, there it is. Every one of us have that power. We are that power, every one of us. Not just 5 here, 100 there, 1 million here, 1 million there. All of us have that power. We are omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting, abundant beings who never die. We are pure energy, pure consciousness, gods in these bodies. We are housed within the soul. And if you took our light, like I've said many times, and you, okay, the ball of light that you are, and you put it up in space, and you have 1,000 suns behind you, they will dim in comparison to your light. Pure, deep, eternal love, bliss, joy, happiness, freedom. No stresses, no anxieties, no fears. That's what the ego mind. Can you see what's been laid out very clearly for us to say, choose, okay? I think it's about time I go deeper within me and discover all of this, so I know who and what I am. See, it's always this way. Where our attention goes, energy flows. Proven fact. You know, you can debate it with your ego mind till you're blue in the face, but it is a complete fact. Concrete fact, steel fact. Wherever our attention goes, energy flows. So wherever we concentrate, wherever we're concentrating, whatever it may be, energy flows. It manifests. And and see, here's the kicker. Most people don't know that they're manifesting it. It could be horrible things. It could be depressing and all kinds of stuff, right? And they don't know it. Because when you know it, you don't concentrate on that. You don't focus on it. You say, there's no reason why I would focus on that. I'm going to focus on this. Where I direct my energy is where manifestation occurs. I'm not going to direct my energy over here because I've been there and done that so many times, I know what happens. So it's a whole different learning and experience for us compared to what we've been doing for the last several million years and incarnating into physical material form. And basically, a lot of redundancy. So now in the spiritual direction, spirituality is true discovery of who and what you are, that you are the enlightened one. You are an enlightened being. You are omnipotently powerful. You are divine perfection. You are the kingdom of God. You are the heaven. You are it. See? And this is the reprogramming that the civilization must choose. Or they will end up repeating this stuff over and over again, every few hundred years. See what I mean? Why would we want to do that? I believe we don't care to do that. That more and more of us are waking up to the comprehension of saying, I don't really care to do this anymore. Hey, I'm deeply grateful for it, but I'm done with it. I want to experience this over here. That's all it is. And are we ever going to run out of experiencing things? No. That's what we do. We create it and we experience it. We will always do that. And one might say, you mean even the crap? Even the crap. Yep. Because we don't know really what we're thinking. We're not aware of it. We aren't aware of what we're thinking. We think we know, but yet we don't. Because the ego mind is a tricky character, and it can seduce us all the time. All the time. And most of us think that's pretty normal and fine, and then we leave the body and we incarnate again, and we keep doing the same thing. Now, you would believe that, right? That you could... someone has the opportunity, and you say, all right, would you continue to choose to be an ego mind and experience this, and this? You know, frustration, irritation, disappointment, insecurity, fear. Or would you rather focus on going within, forgiving yourself across the board, embracing every part of you, loving deeply and eternally every part of you inside and out, and being totally free and in complete bliss, knowing that you can manifest anything you desire whenever you desire it? It's a big difference, isn't it? What's the hurdle? Their confidence, faith, and trust in themselves, and an ego mind's grip on them. So in the quiet time of this meditation, you're an omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being that's in that body that never dies. And while in that body, you manifest anything you choose because you're in the heart mind. You're emanating from the center core of the God that you are. Join in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain focused on relaxing into the body, being as still as you can be, and focused on the breath rising and falling. Forgive what's unforgivable. Forgiveness is the key to your deepest joy and ultimate freedom. When you truly forgive, you release the grip the past pain has held on you. You let it go until it no longer drains you, leaving space for peace to flow. When all is forgiven, life feels lighter, easier, free. This simple release dissolves heaviness, guilt, and fear, bringing clarity and calm to your entire being. Forgiveness is powerful. It reveals your highest truth, a radiant, infinite, serene essence. Take a few moments today to reflect on the energy of forgiveness. What does it feel like in your body? Who do you most need to forgive? Is there someone from whom you need an apology or forgiveness? Notice where you're holding on to past heaviness or pain. Do you need to ask someone for forgiveness today? Write down the words that help you feel forgiveness unfolding right now. Embrace those you've judged as wrong, guilty, or unworthy, even those who seemed beyond forgiveness. These wounds live in your mind, and when you forgive, the weight lifts within you. At the deepest level, all that you are is simply love, deep, eternal love. And this love is always forgivable. Imagine waking up every day with a powerful, uplifting message. These are the mantras we create for ourselves. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Monday, January 6th, 2025, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening around you or within you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.